Hello and welcome to another Fishing Tale Films in this series Reeling Back the Years, episode 3. And as you may have seen by the intro, that piece of water, that channel, and obviously the thumbnail was Reculver Dykes, and which is in Kent. And as a young lad, I used to go with my family. We had many holidays at Reculver, and we used to obviously take a few items of fishing tackle with us, which was very handy. And me and my dad would go down there and fish the dykes quite a lot, actually. Especially get up early morning, get the best part of the day in, and then the second part of the day from midday onwards we'd go back to the caravan, because there was a caravan site right next to where the twin towers, or the Reculver Towers, which was like an old Roman fort, and you could see the towers from far away. Right, it used to obviously go across you had the North Sea, the beach right behind us, and Pebbly Beach. So we'd be fishing in the mornings and then spend the rest of the afternoon on the beach, paddling around looking for starfish and crabs and stuff like that. You know, they were great, fantastic holidays, and I thoroughly enjoyed them. And now I'm going back to the late 60s, right up till around sort of the mid-70s, when we used to have lots of caravan holidays at Reculver, and fantastic times. The pub, which is still there, the King Ethelbert, I think it's called, that's still there, and every now and then I go back and visit and have a look to see if things have changed, and boy, they have changed, especially the Reculver Dykes, which I'll come to a little bit later. But a lot of it is still looks the same, and always sort of feel like I'm a young boy again when I go back and visit Reculver Towers. The caravan site is long gone now, sadly. So that's no longer there. It's just grassland, and the two concrete shower blocks, toilet blocks, they're still there. Well, they were up till 2 or 3 years ago, because it's been a while since I've been there. But if you've ever been to Reculver Towers, or if you haven't, it's sort of situated near Herne Bay on the Kent coast, and near a little town called Beltinge. And we used to go there, like I say, quite a lot. We used to spend like 2 weeks there, having fantastic holidays. And we used to pop into Herne Bay to pick up some maggots, and obviously we had to get, because in them days, now we just get an EA licence, and that you can fish anywhere in the UK with that. But many years ago, each area had its own water authority that you had to buy separate licences for, and to fish at Reculver we needed a Southern Water licence, so we would then pop into Ron Edwards, I think it was called, in Herne Bay tackle shop, pick up our licences while we were picking up some maggots and stuff like that, so that we could fish there and not worry about any illegal fishing going on. We had our licences, and so I think we used to, over the course of, we used to have to get an Essex licence, an Anglian licence, was it the Southern licence? So many different licences. It just got so messy trying to work out what sort of water authority some of these venues fell under. Thames Water as well. The list just went on. So at least now with just the one EA licence, it does make life a lot easier. Now anyway, so the main target of fish species that we used to fish for, I used to love fishing for, was eels. I know they're not everyone's favourite, and it was teeming with rudd. There was quite a few roach in there, but it was mainly rudd fishing and eels, typical sort of fishing on the old drains, it was excellent. It just reminds me of so much of when I think back, all them getting up early. We used to put the maggots, the bait box underneath the caravan behind the step, because that was roughly the coolest place. The caravans didn't have fridges in them, so it's not like we could have snuck them in the fridge. Not that my mum would have been too happy with that, but anyway, so we used to put them underneath the caravan in sort of the coolest part that we could find, out the shade, because we did get hot summers then. And then we'd get up early in the morning and we would make our way, walk along towards the Reculver Towers, up onto the sea wall, and then make our way through. We used to cut through down to the dykes and fish quite a variety of different swims. It was quite shallow. There was an area called the Junction, which produced quite a lot of good fish there. We had some good days in there, but in general it was sort of fishing for, like I say, the eels with maggots, and they were good size eels as well. You'd certainly get at least anything from like a dozen up to sort of 15, some on good days 20 eels out. And I can still see now that little quill floaters I always used to use, just bobbing along slowly, cutting across, and then it just slid away. You count the two, striking, because they're very powerful fish, of the eels, and they used to put up a good old scrap of themselves, and they were like sort of memories, because obviously I've referred to Wanstead Park in the first 2 episodes of reeling back the years, but fishing at Reculver was also like a big learning curve for me as well, because the eels fought quite hard. I think that's what was the challenge for me trying to tempt the eels, was that they were hard fighters, and that you had to make sure that they didn't get into the reeds, because they were reed lined all the way along down the dykes, and just watching that float move and bob around and then slide under, just magic moments for any angler out there that loves float fishing. Just to see that float slide away, it's just a fantastic sight. Certainly gets the heart pumping, and then when that rod bends over, and because the line, you used to see your float zigzag back, because they used to swim backwards, didn't they? Like sort of this head would come out, and that great stuff, catching all these eels. But there was some good rudd in there and all. Had some up to round about the pound mark, and it's all part of the River Wonsum, which cause it sort of goes on for a long way. All that stretch of water all connects up, and but sadly on my last visit, probably 4 years ago now, that channel that you could see at the beginning of the video, that is now chock-a-block with reeds, and I think it's just silted up, and you couldn't fish it. So my heart sank when I see it, because I thought, oh no, they say never go back, don't they? But I'd been going back fairly regular. I think the last time I fished it was back in 2012, when I'd done a 4-part series for, it was Total Course Fishing magazine. Kev Wilmot was the editor, and we I took them to sort of different venues that I used to fish, like from when I was a boy up to when obviously now like a man sort of thing. And I started the series off at Reculver. Wanstead would have been an ideal place, but the fishing, I don't think they fish there anymore anyway, and the boards had all changed with all the concrete and all that. So I took them down to Reculver, and I used the quill again from that quill box there. It was one of them floats, probably, I think it was a little yellow, might have been something like that. One of them sort of bright coloured quills there, and when I was getting bites and catching, I was actually catching more roach, you know, plump roach as well. It was just like I was a young boy again, fishing for bites, and I was fishing the junction swim. I had to sort of, obviously it hadn't been fished much, and and I sort of had to flatten the reeds down a bit to get in there. But it was just magical moments of reliving your youth, you know, going back, and each bite just meant so much. Catching all these roach, and it was simple tactics. I had a Mitchell match reel, Black Prince reel. Remember the Black Prince reels? And a split cane rod, which was quite heavy. But that's what I used when I first started fishing. And it sort of done the job. Because that's all you really knew then, so you just got on with it. And size sort of 18, 16 hook, maggots as bait. Didn't bother with ground bait or anything else like that, it was just maggots, that's all we took. A few items of tackle, the basics, because obviously we was on holiday. And at the time my dad wasn't driving then, so we used to get I think his mate was a cab driver. And then sometimes we'd go with my Uncle George, and he would take us down, he would drive, and he would fish as well with us, and just fantastic memories of spending time with your loved ones, fishing away, catching these eels, catching the rudd. Just happy memories, and if you've been to Reculver, you probably know exactly the section of water that I'm talking about, and just feel free to drop me a line underneath the video, and you know, let me know how you got on, because we never really saw an awful lot of anglers. There was signs that anglers had fished because the banks were still worn in them days, in the 60s and the 70s, and yeah, so if you fished it, I'd be interested to know how you got on down there. I know when I went back in 2012, see a few carp swimming about, and I know the Wanson's got some tench in it, so there must have been some tench in that section as well. But it was sad to see it all silted up and just choked with reeds, you know, the big tall bulrush reeds, and it was solid, absolutely solid. It's just a shame that it's been left to just to be left, you know, I suppose in the end it's just going to become marshland, which is not good. It wasn't a great sight to see, I must admit, and that's one of the sad things when you go back to places that you used to fish a lot, and then you see things like that. It's very sad to see, but they were great days, I must admit. Catching those eels and the rudd and a few roach in between, and just spending time with my dad fishing away. God knows how many hours we fished down there, but we used to absolutely love it. We'd get up at first light and make the most before the sun would come out, and it was time to then get down on the beach with my mum and my sister, spend the rest of the day there, And until the next trip, we used to go probably every other day. You know, we didn't push our luck too much. But great times. So that is really episode 3. You know, reeling back the days, and I guess it's them sort of fishing memories that inspired me to carry on fishing and learning, and like I say, with Wanstead Park and the River Lee at Waltham Abbey, at Cheshunt, Broxbourne, Dobbs Weir, I used to fish there a couple of times, Rye House, all them sort of waters made me the angler that I am today, and luckily I got to share a lot of that with my dad, fishing away. So they were great days, happy memories, and I should look forward to being with you again for episode 4. And got so many memories. When you're an old git like me, you've got lots of, and I've fished all my life, I really have. And you know, there's all my match fishing career, and I've got so many stories to share about my match fishing days as well. Great times, really great times. But anyway, I look forward to seeing you again on Reeling Back the Years. And if you've liked the video, please give it a like, and please spread the word, because I know there's a few anglers out there that are enjoying the videos, and thanks very much for all your comments. And I know some of you have actually fished some of the venues that I've mentioned in episodes 1 and 2, which is great. You know, it's great to know that, and there's a very good chance that because it was around about the same time that we were probably fishing at the same time, at the same place as well. So it's a small world, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you again very soon on Reeling Back the Years.